Now at 5 a.m., this is WKYT This Morning. Tonight, family and friends of a Lexington teenager who was shot and killed over the weekend will be gathering together to remember her. We're looking ahead to the vigil for Trinity Gay.
Plus, Lexington police are looking for a clown connected to several gas station robberies in the city. The latest on the investigation just ahead.
And some folks in Frankfort got a history lesson over the weekend at the Days of Nights Festival. We'll have that and your Kentucky weather forecast all coming up on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Kentucky mornings start right here on WKYT. Good morning to you. I'm Andrea Walker.
And I'm Bill Bryant. And we sure hope you had a nice weekend. We certainly had beautiful weather around here. No doubt about that. It's Monday morning now, up and at it on October 17th. And this week is going to be very interesting. And we'll say that about our weather, right?
It will be. As Micah said, there's a little something for everybody, no matter what you like. Isn't that right, Micah?
That's exactly right. And you'll see that in my 7-day forecast. I mean, we're really, really warm. There are some spots that are kind of mild. And then there are some spots later on in my 7-day forecast, like Andrew was talking about, they get really, really chilly. So I'll show you that coming up in just a few minutes. We're in the 50s and 60s this morning. No sweater, no light coat. You don't need that walking outside. 83 by the afternoon. It's going to be pretty much like what we have felt this past weekend will be what you feel today. But let me tell you this, it gets a little bit warmer tomorrow, which could bring us record-breaking temperatures. Big contrast in those temperatures. I'll show you how high we go and also how low later on in the forecast coming up.
All right, Micah, thank you. The community really feeling this tragedy this morning, and tonight family and friends of a 15-year-old who was shot and killed in Lexington will be gathering together to remember her. Lexington police say Trinity Gay was shot in the parking lot of a cookout restaurant along South Broadway. Police say 2 vehicles were firing shots at each other, the people in those cars.
So far, police have arrested 3 people in the shooting. Devontae Middlebrooks, Cesare Taylor, and DeMarcio Taylor have all been charged with wanton endangerment in the case. Cesare Taylor and DeMarcio Taylor are father and son. All 3 will be in court this morning. WKYT's Lauren Miner is live in Lexington looking ahead to tonight's vigil. Lauren?
Good morning, Andrea. Well, Trinity's death has been tough on everyone in the community, especially her friends. And as you guys already said, they are planning a vigil for her tonight. The vigil for day will follow tonight's freshman football game at Lafayette High School. That should be around 8 o'clock. Everyone is invited to attend and encouraged to wear pink or purple. 15-year-old Gay was a student at Lafayette High School and was on the track team. Her friends are having a hard time coping with her death. Taylor Middleton says she was right next to Gay when she was shot. She says they were in the parking lot when the first round of shots were fired. She says her and some friends put Gay in the car and started driving to the hospital.
Trinity leans up against the door, and as she's leaning up against the door, she starts to fall asleep. So Alexa was like, you gotta get her up, you gotta get her up. So I grabbed her and I started shaking her and I was holding her and I was like, come on, Trinity, you gotta stay up, you gotta stay up.
Middleton says when they got to the hospital, Gay was not in good shape. She says they couldn't tell if she had been shot in the neck. She tells us it's a hard memory to live with. Fayette County Schools will have a crisis team here at Lafayette High School helping students and staff dealing with the loss of Gay. Reporting live in Lexington, Lauren Miner, WKYT.
Lauren, thank you. And this morning, Lexington police are searching for a suspect connected to several gas station robberies as well.
Police tell us the suspect dressed as a clown robbed 1 gas station overnight and 3 others over the weekend. WKYT's Mike Byer is live in Lexington with this crime tracker report. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Andrea. Lexington police believe this morning's armed robbery here at the Shell gas station is connected to 3 gas station robberies that happened yesterday. Now, police say just after 12:30 this morning, a man with a clown mask and dressed all in black walked into this Shell located at Man of War and Nicholas Park. Police tell us the suspect showed a gun and demanded money. After he got the cash, police say he fled the scene. They say he may have gotten into a vehicle that was in the parking lot behind the gas station. Now, police believe the same guy is the person who robbed 3 gas stations yesterday. Just like this morning, police say all 3 were robbed by a person wearing a clown mask and black clothing. Now, police say a silver or gray Chevy Impala was involved in those robberies yesterday. Police have not released a description of a vehicle from this morning. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
So far, no charges have been filed after a deadly shooting last week in southern Kentucky. The Whitley County coroner tells us Stephen Pataki died Saturday around midnight after being shot several times on Thursday. The Corbin Times-Tribune reports that Pataki's wife told police that she shot him, but that she didn't mean to shoot him. The paper reports that charges are currently pending in the case. Police are waiting on autopsy results before going forward.
2 men are in the hospital after a crash on Interstate 75 in Scott County. Georgetown police say one car rear-ended another in the southbound lanes at around mile marker 122. That is not far from the Fayette County line. Police say 2 men in one of the cars were taken to the hospital. They tell us one of the men had life-threatening injuries. The other man had serious injuries. And we're told the other driver was treated at the scene. This is the second serious crash on I-75 in that area in a little over a week.
State police have identified 3 people killed in a crash in Perry County on Kentucky 7 in Cornettsville. It happened Saturday afternoon at the intersection of Kentucky 699. Troopers say a car hit a truck. The coroner says both drivers, Christopher Hill and Christopher Sams, died at the scene. A passenger in Sam's truck, Harold Halcomb, was taken to a hospital where he later died. Troopers do not know the cause of the crash.
Well, Donald Trump is now connecting a weekend attack on a GOP office in North Carolina to the campaign of his opponent.
The Republican nominee's campaign has been in a tailspin ever since 9 women leveled sexual assault allegations against him. Reed Binion has more on the attack.
It is meant to scare and intimidate people from volunteering.
A North Carolina Republican Party official reacting to the firebombing of a GOP party office over the weekend. A swastika and the words "Nazi Republicans leave town or else" were reportedly spray painted on an adjacent building. The state GOP tweeted its appreciation after Clinton's campaign tweeted a note of sympathy. But Trump on Twitter blamed Clinton supporters for the attack. It comes as the Republican presidential nominee ramps up claims that the election is being rigged.
The election is being rigged by corrupt media pushing completely false allegations.
Trump supporters, including former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, arguing that Trump isn't talking about the actual voting process.
When he talks about a rigged election, he's not talking about the fact that it's going to be rigged at the polls.
But when challenged, Giuliani backtracked, seeming to allow for the possibility of election rigging.
There are a few places where they've been notorious for stealing votes. What they do is they leave dead people on the rolls, and then they pay people to vote those dead people.
Trump himself specified on Twitter that the election is being rigged at polling places. Meanwhile, his running mate, Mike Pence, while also hitting the media, added a measure of calm Sunday.
We will absolutely accept the results of the election. Look, the American people will speak in an election that will culminate on November the 8th.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Hillary Clinton is off the campaign trail today while Trump holds an event in Wisconsin. The candidates are set to meet face-to-face in their third and final presidential debate this Wednesday in Las Vegas. Well, some folks in Frankfort got a history lesson this weekend at the Days of Nights Festival.
The event is aimed at educating people, young and old, about the medieval times. There was several festivities for people to try out, even jousting, and a group dressed in armor competed in close quarter combat. Yes, again, there was some jousting there. The goal of the event is to be authentic.
The idea of living history is to try to recreate the life of these people, not the fantasy of it.
There wasn't really a venue to try and educate people about real history. This is what it looked like. This is what it felt like.
And this is the 5th year for the Days of Nights Festival. It takes place in Frankfort every other year.
Looks like a lot of fun.
It really does.
It does.
And the weather cooperated quite well,
Sure
because it was cool enough, I guess, in those uniforms or get-ups. WKYT this morning is just getting started. It is so good to have you with us here on this Monday morning.
Still ahead, there are new rules for Americans traveling to Cuba. We'll tell you what you can and can't bring back in about 10 minutes. And hundreds of people in West Virginia celebrated Bridge Day by jumping off a bridge. That story after Micah's forecast.
We got a warm one in store today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, and then a front rolls through on Thursday, drops those temperatures down big time. I'm going to show you how high we go and how low, and also finally some rain in the forecast. I'll have that coming up.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We're at 62 right now in the capital city, and that goes for Lexington as well. 50s down south. Kind of depends on where you are, but I'll tell you this. It feels really nice anywhere you go. 55 in London, Corbin, and then you go over towards Somerset, Monticello. We're sitting there in the low to mid 50s. That's not a bad feel. That's actually pretty nice and really mild across Frankfort, central, northern zones, eastern zones. We're sitting there in the 60s. So that's a pretty good start to the day. By the afternoon, we'll rise about 20 degrees, and we'll be roughly 83 later on this afternoon. If you like this weekend, you're going to like today, tomorrow, and off towards your Wednesday, because these 3 days will be really, really warm. Now, as we travel off towards your Thursday and Friday, that's going to be a different story. So let's talk about tomorrow and off towards your Wednesday. Here's the breakdown of it. The front just to the north of us. And once that slides a little bit closer, then it'll bring some cool air with it. But until then, it's going to be warm. It will be windy. You're talking temperatures in the low to mid 80s. And some of those mid 80s could possibly reach a record. I would say if we do actually reach a record, it will be tomorrow. I have 85 in my 7-day forecast. 87 is the record high tomorrow. But the front starts to move closer. Still not there on Wednesday. I'd say Wednesday, northern Kentucky, you guys may have a chance at a couple of rumbles of thunder. It's a very small chance, but it's still there. But then the front moves on through on Thursday, and that'll bring us scattered showers and thunderstorms, and that's a pretty good shot at that on Thursday. So just keep in mind, if you're looking for rain, which I believe a lot of us are, it's a perfect time to do that. On Thursday, here comes some showers, some thunderstorms. We'll pick up some pretty good rain totals with that too. But a big temperature swing. We're going from 80s to the upper 50s, lower 60s on Friday. There's your look. And that's going to be some pretty chilly air. We head off into the night, Friday night, and into Saturday morning. And look at that, 40 degrees on Saturday morning. That goes for Sunday. That means some of us could be in the upper 30s. There's where we approach that weekend for those temperatures during the morning hours. So here's the breakdown of it. Really warm the next 3 days. On Thursday, your rain chance really slides on in. That's the best opportunity. On Friday, you'll start to really feel the difference in temperatures. And then towards your weekend, looks pretty decent this weekend. It's not all that bad, but it's going to be pretty chilly there in the upper 50s, lower 60s. You're talking about some pretty cool air sliding on in. I mean, we go from way up here to way down here. I mean, it's a roller coaster ride for sure.
So we're looking at 83, and then you say in the morning hours we're talking about 30s in the same week.
In the same week.
Yeah. I don't like
that is
it.
Kentucky for
Quite
you.
right, isn't it?
That's exactly
All right.
right.
Well, hang on for it,
There you
okay?
go.
Thank you, Micah. 5:15 on WKYT this morning.
All right, so jumping off a bridge sounds like a little crazy to most of us, but apparently that's not the case for folks in West Virginia who did that this weekend.
Well, and they've done it for years over there. Some base jumpers plunged off a nearly 900-foot bridge at the New River, the gorge there on Saturday. It was just for fun, and for Bridge Day 2016, each October, thrill seekers and spectators from all over come to experience the bridge in their own way. Most are perfectly content with watching from the sidelines. That would be me. But for the ones with the guts, the best view, of course, is the one from the edge.
It's nerve-wracking, even if you've done it. I mean, some of these guys are really good. Maybe they don't get nervous, but I get pretty nervous.
Base jumper Ricky Hoyt traveled 9 hours from upstate New York just for the chance to leap off of the bridge. He says if you can block out your nerves, then it's really pretty simple.
Well, yeah.
Yes, it is. You just fall.
Yeah, it's easy. Did you see the people jumping backwards?
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
To each his own.
That's our neighbors next door in
That's
West
right.
Virginia. And it is 5:16 now on WKYT this morning. Hey, it's your Monday, and we're glad you're up and at it with us right here.
When we come back, we'll take a look at your money.
The new rules for Americans traveling to Cuba and what you're now allowed to bring back. And the big leadership change at one major American chocolate company. I'm Kenneth Craig. I'll have those stories and more coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
Kentucky mornings start here. You're watching WKYT this morning.
Good morning. Time to rise and shine, and we're glad you're with us. It's 5:20 on your Monday. A new poll shows that young Americans are not planning for their future and saving up for retirement.
But they should. Plus, one major chocolate company is looking for a new boss. Kenneth Craig has the latest on your money.
Americans who travel to Cuba can now bring home as many as 100 cigars and several bottles of rum. The Obama administration has lifted the $100 limit, which could generate hundreds of millions of dollars for Cubans. One caveat, the rum and cigars brought back are only for personal use and cannot be sold. Stocks closed in positive territory on Friday. The Dow gained 39 points. The Nasdaq finished up a fraction. Hershey will soon be searching for a new boss. The chocolate company announced its current CEO, John Bilbrey, will retire next year. A special committee will be in charge of that search process. And young Americans are not saving for retirement, according to a poll by Gen Forward. 48% of Americans ages 18 to 30 have zero in retirement savings and no access to a traditional pension. Only 7% of those surveys say they are in line to get pensions, which are becoming more rare. That's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. In New York, I'm Kenneth Craig.
Our time this morning is 5:21, and it's great to have you with us right here. Now, coming up in just a few minutes, all of our top stories on WKYT this morning.
And sports is on the way next. Stay with us.
DeMarcus Cousins says he sees a lot of potential in Scalabissiere, but that doesn't get him out of rookie hazing. That's coming up in sports.
It's another morning when you walk outside, you do not need a sweater. You don't need a light coat like last week. Maybe later on this week, but not so much today nor the next few days. Actually feels pretty good. I'm meteorologist Micah Harris here on WKYT this morning. Thanks for joining us early this morning. 83 by the afternoon. We are warm. We're breezy. Another 15 to 25 mile per hour day. And also that mixture of sun and clouds that, believe it or not, actually gets a little bit warmer than that. I'll show you that in my 7-day coming up. First, let's check out sports. See what's going on.
It wasn't homecoming weekend on the UK campus, but it was for a quartet of former Kentucky basketball players back in Lexington for an NBA exhibition game. DeMarcus Cousins, Willie Cauley-Stein, and Scalabissiere playing for the Kings, who picked up the win on Saturday night in Rupp Arena over John Wall and the Washington Wizards. Wall said being back in Lexington made him feel like he was back in college again.
Yeah, I go to the same places. Like yesterday, at the Madness, I walked the whole street back up there to where the old Wildcat Lodge used to be, and just went to a couple of food spots that I used to eat at and just take pictures with the fans. You know what I mean? It's fun. It's just like wanting to feel like I was back in college, so I had my UK sweatsuit on.
You know, Kansas is where I was raised and where I was born, but like Kentucky feels like home. So when I come back here, like it's sad that I have to leave right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't been here that long. Like, you know, one day is not long enough to be here. So that's the kind of thing that I took from this place. It's just like it's family.
Karl Anthony Towns was in Louisville over the weekend for an NBA preseason game at the Yum Center. Now, Towns had 16 points and 14 rebounds in the Timberwolves win over the Miami Heat. Many thought Towns would be in Lexington on Friday night for Big Blue Madness, but instead he attended a Louisville football game with his teammate Gorgie Jang. He said the decision was based on team.
We had to support G. G got a good ovation at a Louisville game, and as much as I love BBN, and I wanted to go to BBM, and me and Cal had talked a lot about it. Team comes first. When you're a leader, you have to make sacrifices, and I was willing to make that for my team.
Purdue has fired head football coach Daryl Hazel midway through the 4th season. The Boilermakers naming receivers coach Jared Parker as the interim head coach. Parker played 4 years at UK from 2001 to 2004 and later served as a grad assistant on Rich Brooks' staff.
My reaction's been to how I've raised and what's got me to this point, and that's to be accepted as another challenge, accepted with a chip on my shoulder, and a personal obligation to all the coaches, their wives and families, and to the players to do everything in my power to help them finish out 6 weeks. And again, not to repeat myself, but have something they'll be proud of when they leave here. So that's a challenge. And that's all. That's the only way you can approach it.
And best of luck to Jared. Meanwhile, the Dodgers get a 1-0 win over the Cubs on Sunday night to even up the NLCS at 1 game apiece. And that'll do it for your morning sports. Have a great day.